The story kicks off with the ultimate game over. A storm rages, and the city we call home is being pierced by an indescribable crimson energy. See that white-haired girl? That's her, the Witch of Calamity. This right here is the bad ending Xianyu couldn't change in his past life. Total world annihilation. Zooming out, the scale of destruction is apocalyptic. Skyscrapers burn. Lightning strikes at the heart of the chaos. The narration drops a cryptic line. She is not just a simple antagonist. A huge red flag. This girl is wrapped in layers of complexity. Saving her is Qianyu's top mission, and it's already looking impossible. Close up, under the flickering lightning, the white-haired girl closes her eyes. She is the Witch of Calamity. Within her sleeps the power to shatter a planet, yet she looks lost. Qianyu knows this is the face that will end everything in 5 years. His one shot at stopping that future? Befriending her. Now, the rain reveals her true form. Silver hair, rabbit ears, and tail. She's an abandoned race. The narration confirms it. She is a mid-boss of this world. Her fists are clenched, electricity crackling at her fingertips. Can you feel it? The fury, the hatred for this world, ready to detonate at any moment. Qianyu, how are you going to calm this supernova? Emotion overloaded, consumed by frustration and despair, she reaches out towards this messed-up world. Yun Hanul, a name now synonymous with a tidal wave of destructive power. This is who she was 5 years prior. A lonely, tortured girl on the absolute edge. And Qianyu's grand plan to save the world begins with the most basic step, walking up to her and saying, "Want to be friends?" The bad ending. Global annihilation. The white-haired witch stands amid the ruins of the world, her power having punched straight through the planet. Her whispered vows are the condemnation to erase all existence. This is the bad ending world line our protagonist, Du Qianyu, had to helplessly witness in his past life. This time, the reincarnated Du Qianyu, armed with his past life memories, isn't taking any chances. He goes straight to the source of the problem, the silver-haired classmate who will one day become the calamity herself. But wait, that silver on her head isn't hair? Right. She's no ordinary girl. She's a gene-mutated Ein with rabbit ears, ostracized her whole life for being different. So when our reincarnated hero just stares at her, lost in thought, let's just say she does not take it well. Talk about a social disaster. But Du Qianyu's got the walkthrough. He knows this might be his only chance. So he pushes past the awkwardness and lays his cards on the table. I want to be your friend, because you're as cute as a rabbit. Boom. Direct hit. The girl is utterly flustered. She huffs and turns to run. Mission failed? Wait, she stops after a few steps, her face bright red. She turns back and mumbles something barely audible. See you tomorrow. Mission accomplished. The childhood friend route is officially unlocked. It was the first day of school, full of sunshine and chatter. Everyone thought it would be another ordinary day. That is, until the teacher walked in, holding the hand of the new transfer student with blue hair. The entire class went silent for a moment. What were those bunny ears? Her smile was innocent and radiant, like she had stars in her eyes. The dark-haired boy politely introduced himself in return. Anyone watching would call it adorable. Unbeknownst to them, the gears of fate had begun to turn. Those were not hair accessories. Those were genuine, bone-white rabbit ears growing right out of her skull. The dark-haired boy was stunned, his face flushing. Hold on. That specific combination of features, silver hair, red eyes, long ears, isn't that the hallmark of the Ein tribe from the game? Her name was Yun Hanul, and she liked reading and listening to music. The dark-haired boy, Du Qianyu, no, at this moment he was Du Qianyu, felt his mind go numb. He knew that name. The hobbies, the appearance, memories flooded his mind like a broken dam. A name he'd seen 1,000 times on screens and strategy guides in his past life. I remember my past life. He stared at the shy, smiling girl who wished to be friends, feeling his soul freeze over. Because in his past life's memories, at the end of that gentle smile, lay a terrifying title that would one day shake the world. The mid-level boss capable of ending it all, the Witch of Calamity. His grand plan to change the future hadn't even begun, and the target just landed right in front of him. Talk about a high-stakes opening move. Talk about a plot twist from hell. It's a bright, cheerful first day of school, and the new transfer student looks straight out of an anime. Sky blue hair and a pair of adorable rabbit ears. Du Qianyu, now reborn as Du Qianyu, gives a friendly wave. She looks like a literal angel, he thinks, until a sledgehammer of past life memories shatters that illusion. He stares, his mind reeling. That shy, cute face belongs to none other than the calamity witch from Bravehearts. a mid-game boss infamous for wiping out cities with a flick of her wrist. Your childhood classmate is a walking apocalypse? Congratulations, you just unlocked the ultimate hardcore difficulty. System overload. Critical error. His brain is a battlefield. On one side, the timid, blushing bunny girl right in front of him. On the other, the iconic game CG of a white-haired, red-eyed witch standing in the rain, her voice chillingly mature as she whispers of the world's end. The images merge, and Du Hyanwoo's mental defenses shatter. Denial? Impossible. That silver hair, those crimson eyes, it's her, the mid-boss. The cozy school life fantasy just got obliterated by a horror movie trailer playing on loop in his head. What kind of cosmic joke is this? Absolute mental breakdown. Slumped in his seat, his inner voice is screaming. Became a childhood friend of a mid-level boss? That title is pure, unadulterated irony now. He, Du Hyunwoo, reborn not as an overpowered hero, but as the game's infamous team cancer, the useless side character everyone bullies, and his new life's mission? To befriend the future world-ending which sitting a few desks away. Whoever wrote this plot needs to have a serious talk with the management. Forcing himself to think, he digs into his gamer memories. Brave Hearts, that school action RPG he was obsessed with. Set 200 years after a cataclysm, a world of advanced tech, magic, monsters, and hunters. The protagonist, Kong Hambiol, disciple of the strongest hunter, enters the elite Vajra Academy. The game boasted a staggering 44 endings. The catch? Over 40 of them were horrific bad ends featuring global annihilation and party wipes. And his new identity, Du Hyunwoo, is that guy, the overly sensitive, cowardly deadweight of the party that players love to hate. No wonder his past life sucked. He was literally born with a punching bag character setting. His entire understanding of reality shifts. This isn't peaceful Earth. It's a perilous, power-based fantasy future. The silhouettes of the game's future heroes seem to materialize before him, destined for the Academy and countless battles. And here he is, a failure with full spoilers for his own pathetic life script. His mission? Start by saving a future witch to prevent the apocalypse. Talk about a speedrun challenge on impossible difficulty from minute one. The truth slammed into him like a tidal wave. Hyunwoo's soul was drowning in a vortex of memories, pieces clicking into a horrifying place. This world he'd been reborn into was the very game he'd obsessed over. A post-apocalyptic hellscape 2 centuries after the fall, where magic duels with technology and monsters clash with hunters. And his beloved Brave Hearts? It had a staggering 44 endings. The crushing reality? The vast majority of them were catastrophic world enders. The final, bitter pill to swallow? The pathetic character he'd become, Du Hyanwoo, the team's infamous cancer cell, a timid, overly sensitive liability who dragged everyone down, was the very reason for his miserable former life. Understanding dawned, a realization so bitter and heavy it felt like a curse. Surveying the grand chessboard of fate, Hyanwoo realized his piece was placed on the most hopeless square. 44 potential paths stretched before him, and nearly every single one led to a dead end, an ending painted with the flames of total annihilation. This wasn't an adventure. It was a collection of doomsday verdicts stamped game over. Most weren't just bad endings. They were endings of absolute, cataclysmic destruction. The sheer weight of it felt like losing the bet before the game even began. But wait, there's more. The game had another massive flaw, an ultimate deadweight teammate. A detective character so crippled by his own heightened senses, he was paralyzed by fear. This wasn't a case of acting weak. He was genuinely useless, freezing up under pressure, his talents locked away by sheer cowardice. Staring at his own trembling hands now, Hyanwoo made the devastating connection. That infuriating, talentless detective who drove players mad was him. Memories of his past life detonated in his mind. On the battlefield, while others fought for their lives, he'd be the one sobbing and holding everyone back. Bullied relentlessly, he never even considered fighting back, a doormat to his core. His teammates despised his weakness, calling him a spineless fool who didn't even know how to hate. The life of Du Hyanwoo, no, of Du Hyunwoo, was one long, humiliating performance. Cowardice was etched into his very bones. Revisiting it now, the suffocating shame felt like it would rip him apart. So, the infamous rabbit of the Divine Sword Du family, the representative cancerous character of the main party, was him. Hyanwoo clutched his head, on the verge of a complete meltdown. Out of all the possible characters to reincarnate into, the universe had dealt him the absolute worst hand. Why? Why in all the worlds did he have to become this ultimate failure of a character? A wave of despair and utter absurdity crashed over him. This wasn't just hard mode. It was a cosmic joke played at his expense. Mind blown to smithereens. Du Qianwu just realized that this meek, bunny-eared girl sitting next to him in class is none other than Yun Hanul, the future witch of calamity destined to bring about the world's end in brave hearts. Talk about drawing the short straw on the first day. Fragmented memories come crashing down. This isn't a simple flashback. It's a playback of pure humiliation. The green-haired brat's taunt. Next is Du Qianwu, strikes a raw nerve, flooding Du Qianwu with the powerlessness and dread of his past life's endless bullying. But this time it's different. His heart isn't racing with fear, but with resolute determination. Whispering the name, Yun Hanul, Du Qianwu recognizes his sole purpose in this new life, to become her light before the true calamity unfolds. Changing fate starts right now, by becoming her friend. But the target of his mission is terrifyingly formidable. The silver-haired, innocent girl is just a persona. In-game lore confirms she's fated to awaken as the Witch of Calamity, a being said to bear all the world's misfortunes and ultimately return the despair with devastating power. Mission difficulty, literally apocalyptic. Her past is a landscape of pure, frigid darkness. Abandoned in the snow at birth, scorned and isolated all through her youth. She's known zero warmth, experienced zero love. It's this ocean of loneliness and pain that's destined to birth the world-ending witch. Du Qianwu isn't just facing a girl. He's up against the collective malice of an entire world. Qianwu's mind is flooded with the truth. This isn't his world. It's Brave Hearts, the game with 44 possible endings, most of them spectacularly bad. And the cruelest joke? The body he's in now, Du Qianwu. He's the game's resident punching bag, the so-called team cancer. No wonder his past life was absolute misery. But the real game-breaking Easter egg is the silver-haired girl with rabbit ears. Qianwu instantly pulls up her entire tragic file in his mind. Abandoned. Discriminated against. A path that ends with her becoming the Witch of Calamity. The fastest route to a good ending? Eliminate her now. Qianwu looks at this future final boss and thinks, hell no. His fists clench. Are we doomed to follow the script? To just sit and watch the world burn again? Hell no. I have the entire walkthrough, and the main quest doesn't even start for 5 years. A crazy, audacious, truly player move clicks into place in his mind. Forget saving the world. What if you raise the savior? In that instant, his eyes change. New objective. Go. Now. No time for moping. The goal is clear. Go to her side. So, in an ordinary classroom, as the teacher invites them to choose partners, the entire class watches as Qianwu, the quiet one, walks straight towards the girl everyone else ignores. In the game, she resents the world because of her past. But what if the game hasn't started yet? What if, from this moment on, she has someone beside her? Qianwu extends his hand. It's the most important choice, not in the game, but for their lives. Starting today, Du Qianwu and Yun Hanul are childhood friends. This is step 1 to rewriting destiny. Du Qianwu's mind instantly calculated the coldest, easiest solution. Erase the future calamity, which before it all begins. But he shut that thought down immediately. Staring at Yun Hanul's lonely back, he didn't see the world-ending game boss. He saw a classmate, abandoned and bullied by the world. He had 5 years. 5 years not to end a story, but to rewrite it. The very next day, Du Qianwu walked straight towards that always empty corner without a shred of hesitation. His goal was simple, pure, and almost naive. He would become her deskmate, her first ally, her exception. He was determined to pull this girl, shoved toward the abyss by fate, back into the light. When Du Qianwu smiled and asked, "May I sit beside you?" Yun Hanul froze. Those perpetually downcast crimson eyes snapped up, filled with disbelief. Never had a peer reached out to her like this, their voice free of mockery or pity. That simple question was a stone dropped into the still waters of her heart, long untouched. And so, the 5-year plan officially kicked off. He invited her over for lunch, where the warmth of his mother and sister gave this wary rabbit her first real taste of family. They shared a drink under the sun, raced home hand in hand after school. Du Qianwu was clumsily, earnestly painting color into her gray world, one stroke at a time. His mission, to become the right connection between her and the world she distrusted. In the future, Du Qianwu envisioned, there was no calamity witch. There was only the girl he was willing to risk everything for, standing firmly by his side. He made a silent vow. He would personally reshape the fate of Yun Hanul, who was destined to be the final boss and mold her into this world's true heroine. He didn't hesitate for a day. Xianyu went straight for the future doom, witch himself. Look at that confident smirk. His hand on the desk is the message. This seat's mine now. And so are you. He introduced himself with a sunshine-bright smile. I'm Du Xianyu. Look it along. Unbelievable. The first step to saving the world is straight out of slice-of-life romance manga. The sparkly background? Total mood setter. Yun Hanul was floored, mind completely blown. With a single huh, her future title got unceremoniously swapped from Doom, which to the mid-boss's childhood friend by this weirdly friendly guy. Staring at him, her mind racing with confusion, the gears of destiny were already being violently wrenched onto a new track. Chapter 2 begins. The countdown to destiny is on. 5 years. Can he truly turn the world-hating Witch of Calamity, Yun Hanul, into the childhood friend by his side? Under the blood-red moon, the silhouette of the rabbit-eared girl is the final boss he must conquer. This is the future calamity, which, Yun Hanu, reincarnated as the loser Du Xianyu. All he can think is he's got 5 years. 5 years to stop this shy, silver-haired girl from destroying the world. Sounds simple, right? But step 1 isn't some epic battle. It's how you even talk to her without coming off as a total creep. The stakes just got awkward. Xianyu finally works up the nerve to invite the infamous witch to his house. But his big speech gets hijacked by a fluffy white tail poking out from behind her backpack. Mind, officially, blown. Is that tail real? So much for keeping a cool head. The plan is officially in shambles, folks. Caught staring. Busted. Hanu calls him out, her face flushed. Why are you looking at me? Game over? Not even close. Xianyu just flashes his most genuine smile. I think it's better if I say this directly. Of course, it's because I want to be friends with you. Direct hit. The most dangerous move is sometimes the simplest one. And the shell-shocked reaction is priceless. What? With me? Why? Her bunny ears shoot straight up in alarm. Xianyu can't help but feel a flicker of victory. Bingo. He knows exactly what this means. The girl destined to destroy the world has probably never had someone look at her and say, I want to be your friend. Not once. But the real gut punch comes next. Faced with genuine kindness, Hanu's walls slam back up. Why me? She whispers, her knuckles white around a tiny knife. Xianyu mentions their shared background, both from swordsmanship families. It only makes her deflate more. This isn't just about making friends. He's realized the real monster he has to fight first is the crushing loneliness and self-hatred that's already taken root in her heart. The first move, after reincarnation, Xianyu launches a full-scale dad joke romantic assault. Princess Hanul here, all silver hair and crimson eyes, blushes from ear to literal ear the moment her hand is taken. And Xianyu, he's not holding back. You're as cute as a rabbit. He drops, then doubles down with, and I really like rabbits. Smooth. The whole scene is practically dripping with pink sparkles. Oh, major cell phone alert. The compliment backfired spectacularly. I am not a rabbit. Hanul explodes, taking off in a flash of pure fury. Our boy Xianyu is left in the dust, waving frantically and internally screaming, did I make her mad? Bro, your mission was to befriend her, not become public enemy number 1. Hold up, did she just hesitate at the door? Maybe the apology hit differently. Plot twist. The so-called calamity, which just morphed into a total cinnamon roll. Face flushed, voice barely a whisper, she mumbles, I see you tomorrow, before vanishing. Xianyu watches her flee, a wave of relief washing over him. I don't think she's angry with me. As the camera pulls back to show the school from above, you can almost hear the faint click of fate's gears is shifting, just a tiny bit, all because of one clumsy attempt to connect. Cut to our hero, Xianyu, trudging home. Physically, he's here. Mentally? Not so much. I still can't believe it. I'm inside the world of the game. Dude, your first act after Xianyu was to awkwardly flirt with the future apocalypse bringer. It's a bit late to be having this existential crisis now. That 1,000-mile stare says he's still processing this whole new life business. Okay, freak out over. Time for action. If this is a game world, where's the menu? Where's the cheat code? He even tries to brute force it in a crowded public space, thinking status window, loud enough to power a small city. Nothing. Zilch. Nada. Although I'm not a player right now. He muses, the reality sinking in with a cold, lonely vibe. No tutorial, no HUD, just him screaming into the uncaring, blue sky void for a system that might not exist. Talk about a rough start. Waking up to find a holographic status screen popping out of nowhere. Du Xianyu was absolutely baffled. What the heck is this? Personal info, innate talent, stats, all displayed in crystal clarity. a talent called evasion instinct. Rabbit? Sounds weird, but look at his dilated pupils. He knows his life is about to take a dramatic turn. Standing on the street, he's completely absorbed in this mysterious system. He's pouring every last point into one single stat, watching his luck meter skyrocket. What's he doing? Is he betting everything on the sheer power of chance? This desperate gamble screams one thing. It's a full-throttle rebellion against a past he can't stand and a future he's hell-bent on seizing. He sees it now. That rabbit instinct, which sounds so weak and fragile, combined with his monstrous 43 agility, is a god-tier skill. But then the question hits him like a brick. If he was so gifted, why was he the ultimate punching bag in his past life? Cue the flashback, the brutal beatings and humiliation from the triple threat. But Xianyu's expression hardens. This isn't a curse. This is the key the universe just handed him to break the cycle for good. But reality hits like a bucket of ice water. From the top-tier hunter academy of his past life to this utterly ordinary high school in the present. Standing at the snowy school gates, Xianyu feels the crushing weight of a downgrade. The mansion, the glory, the privilege of his old life, gone. This isn't a fresh start. It's like being demoted to play the game on hard mode. Then he opens the door. You're back. A warm greeting from his smiling mom, with Dad bustling in the kitchen behind her. This simple, radiant warmth is a world away from the cold, transactional family of his past life. Xianyu's face flushes. This genuine, unconditional love, it's a treasure his old self could never have grasped. Turns out the real game changer started right here. Hold up. We've got our time-traveling, world-saving protagonist, Xianyu, caught in a tight, emotional embrace. The look on his friend's face says it all. Something's gone down. But listen to that voice in his head. I'm not living in my past life, nor should I think like I'm living in a game. Dude's finally making that mental shift. This is the see you later moment with his sister. Clinging to her, he vows to live, as do Xianyu, to the fullest. This isn't just talk. It's a promise etched in stone. And sister's got his back all the way, even packing him snacks before he heads off to sword training. The battlefield can wait. Family comes first. Our awakened protagonist is going full grind mode. He's sprinting down the stairs, mind focused on one thing. I need to do something. Then, BAM. The scene shifts to an epic training ground. Lightning crackles, energy surges. What's he practicing? The Beast King style sword technique. The signature, prestigious art of his family clan. This is it. The moment the weakling Du Xianyu truly starts becoming the swordsman Du Xianyu. Talk about powerful cuts. On one side, the roar of the lion, king of beasts. On the other, the future greatest swordsman Du Xianyu, with eyes sharp as lightning. The Beast King style isn't just about the sword. It's about wielding the heart of a ruler. But wait, why is there a cute little white rabbit popping in? Meng Shil, Hyung is here. That bunny, something's off here. Is this sweet moment the calm before the storm? Case closed. This rabbit named Meng Shil is none other than our future calamity, which, Yun Hanul, in her current, fluffy form. Seeing this tiny, bunny-eared version of her, Xianyu's heart melts. He really looks like her. The look in his eyes is pure, bittersweet tenderness. He even flashes back to her yelling, I'm not a rabbit. But then, in a blink, that softness hardens into resolve. He wipes a stray tear, his gaze turning steely. I should completely master the Beast King style. Love is the fuel, but power is the only shield. Xianyu arrived at the Haedong Sword Path, training hall bright and early. Damn, the place is huge, but empty? Seems he's playing the early bird. Let's get the lowdown. This academy is a chain. They teach traditional swordsmanship to outsiders, the kind that's not the top-tier best king style, reserved for families like the Du clan. And that's exactly why it's packed with hopefuls. Everyone wants a piece of that power, even if it's the watered-down version. Xianyu was just taking in the scenery when the entire hall fell silent. Every single trainee in the place, mid-swing or not, just stopped dead, their eyes locked onto the entrance. Following their gaze, holy crap, that's Du Shirun. The future ultimate ally, currently a stoic schoolgirl genius, just walked in with her sword strapped to her back. The collective stare was practically a physical weight. Xianyu's brain short-circuited. Why on earth is the Du clan's prodigy walking into this basic training ground? For those of you playing catch-up, let's set the record straight on this living legend. Du Shirun, the sword deity, lightning flower. 2 years older than Xianyu, and currently the undisputed #1 prodigy in the entire Du clan's younger generation. According to the game's future, she's destined to become the absolute strongest swordsman after graduation. Look at her aura, wreathed in purple lightning, floating amidst spectral blossoms. This is a future war god, currently masquerading as a schoolgirl. All distractions forgotten, Xianyu zones in completely. Sword in hand, mind clear, goal locked. In a vast, empty hall, he explodes into motion. A single step forward, the wooden blade tearing through the air. Whoosh crack, the only sounds are the whistle of the cut and the sharp snap of impact. This strike isn't for show. It's not for praise. It's the desperate lunge of a man trying to close an impossible gap, forging the strength he'll need to protect what matters when the storm comes. The real grind starts now. Meet Duke Xianyu, once the game's designated loser, now training like his life depends on it. He just unleashed the best king style, first form, a basic move even the game's cannon fodders can use. The spin attack leaves him exhausted, kneeling, gasping for breath. He's pushing himself to the absolute limit, starting from the very bottom. The terrifying part isn't the grueling training itself. It's the fact this former punching bag, this failure from another life, is starting to enjoy it. From 2 to 5 and a dizzying 9, he's pushing himself beyond his limits, even creating an afterimage to spar against. When he's utterly spent, his final thoughts. Will Sharon be impressed by this? And the most dangerous question of all, why is this so much fun? Of course, someone had to witness this sweaty, red-faced, and strangely euphoric spectacle. The other dojo students stop and stare. Who I asked that? What the heck is wrong with him? One guy even cracks a joke. Wow, so now even the rabbit is working out. The nickname Rabbit sticks, and a sheer disbelief is palpable. 3 identical faces. A trio that represents one of Du Qianyu's past life nightmares, the Cerberus brothers. Funded by their wealthy family into the Hunter Academy, they look down on the sweating rabbit. Can he use that in a real fight? I bet he can't catch even one real rabbit. Little do they know, this is where the game's narrative and his grim past start to violently intersect. The ghosts of the past rise up to confront him. A monstrous shadow in the dark, wielding a blade with glowing red eyes. It's the embodiment of all the bullies from his past life. They tormented him because of one man's influence, his cousin, Du Sung-woo. Facing this inner demon, Qianyu grips his wooden sword and shouts into the void, "Hey, why don't you answer?" But all that echoes back is a deafening wave of frustration and helplessness. Distracted and agitated, he can't even focus on what's in his hands. It's the first time his concentration has failed him, but that's only the surface. A real storm is brewing deep inside. The fire, long suppressed, is finally rekindling. The memories of being helpless. Why did he ever let them torment him like that? The floodgates are breached. He remembers everything now. The flashes of memory come in stark reds and suffocating darkness. Those cutting words, the shame of the Du family, I feel sorry for your parents. The helpless fear, the despair of his past life, it all rushes back. That cowering, crying boy in the corner was once the entirety of who he was. A voice echoes, questioning his weakness. Hey, are you crying? Yes, because he once hated hurting people. But then, a different realization strikes like thunder. Now he understands. All that feeble swordplay, that reluctance to act, it was pure foolishness, hiding under a facade of pacifism when he was just too scared to fight back. Now, some seniors step forward, offering with a smile, "Want us to be your sparring partners? We'll help you." Du Qianyu falls silent, looking at the hands reaching out. He knows the human body is far from weak. This time, he'll become strong. Strong enough to tear that humiliating future to shreds. Fast forward 5 years in the game world, and Du Qianyu is no longer the pushover he once was. That confident stance with a wooden sword says it all. He knows the drill. Save the future calamity witch and settle old scores. Consider this a warm-up for the real challenges ahead. Talk about a unique training ground. The rooftop of a traditional Korean house under a starry sky, with a modern city skyline in the backdrop. 4 young warriors in traditional garb stand ready, blending the old with the new. It's clear the adventure in this world is far from a solo run. He's pulling out the big guns, or should I say, the Beast King style, second form. The force behind that staff swing is insane, with blue speed lines everywhere. After 5 years of hard work, it's clear he's come a long way from being the designated punching bag. And the fight heats up. That furious punch, backed by a purple shockwave, sends the opponent flying. The guy on the ground is definitely seeing stars, while his buddy screams his name in panic. This is a whole different level from the old schoolyard bullying days. This guy's lost his mind. Instead of fleeing from the Cerberus trio, Du Qianyu rests his sword on his shoulder, his posture screaming, "Bring it on." The 3 bullies who were all bark a moment ago are now scrambling on the ground, their swords forgotten. They can't process it. How did the pathetic Du Qianyu, their personal punchline, morph into this terrifying presence in the blink of an eye. The red border dialogue box on the screen delivers the brutal verdict. He has changed. The dojo looks like a war zone. The Cerberus trio went down to a few casual swings from Du Xianyu, and now they're on the ground, groaning and overacting as if they've been mortally wounded. You call this performance art? He looks utterly unimpressed, as if watching three melodramatic punching bags. Cut the act. His expression says, "You're not dying from that. Get up." The tables turn harder than a tornado. A flashback, curled in the darkened pain. That's the Du Hyunwoo of his past life. But now, Du Hyunwoo points a finger at the three shocked faces opposite him. His voice is ice. Don't ask why. Let's just say I remember every single punch from back then. How does it feel to get stomped by your own punching bag? Fun, right? The Wu brothers panic, threatening him with their powerful backer. Little do they know, that's the cue Du Hyunwoo was waiting for. Here we go. The classic face-slapping moment. Hearing them still trying to name drop, Du Hyunwoo bursts into laughter. It's a mocking, lopsided grin. Huh, my dear cousin Du Sungwoo, you really think he'll protect you? Bam! His words hit them like a truck. The brothers' faces go from shock to frozen horror. They just realize their invincible shield might not be so solid after all. Du Hyunwoo, you know exactly where to twist the knife. Flashback time. Let's see the backstory of this Cerberus trio. They were once idealistic kids, swearing oaths to become hunters. But then, reality hit hard with the fees are astronomically high. It's unrealistic. Their dream was about to shatter, until a glimmer of hope appeared. The news that talents are sponsored was like a beacon. They could become hunters for free. It was the ultimate loophole, the answer to their prayers. Little did they know, that loophole might have been specifically designed to snare them. The atmosphere shifts instantly. One moment, Du Hyunwoo is casually negotiating with a triple threat who desperately need his family sponsorship. The next, the memory of being beaten down in the past comes flooding back, cold and sharp. The boy who used to take the hits is gone. Hearing that the deal requires him to see Hyunwoo often, a knowing smile plays on his lips. Perfect. It's time to settle old scores. Sometimes, power is just a name. Du Hyunwoo doesn't even have to face them. Just by invoking the weight of the Du family, he turns the tables completely. The once arrogant triplets are now kneeling, terrified. A simple word from him could erase their sponsorship, their lifeline. Seeing their fear, a cold satisfaction washes over him. Did they really think Du Sungwoo was their only ticket to power? Think again. Oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad. The triple threat's little private lesson for Du Hyunwoo has spectacularly backfired, leaving them humiliated and cornered. But the real disaster hits when their instructor's furious roar. "You punks!" echoes from the doorway. Unauthorized sparring is a cardinal sin. Caught red-handed, they're in serious trouble. Watching from just outside, Du Sungwoo grits his teeth in frustration. His plan has just gone up in smoke. Just when everyone expects Du Hyunwoo to back down, he cracks a smile. He points at the senior who accused him of disgracing the Du family, his tone disarmingly casual. "Senior," he asks, "are you seriously suggesting that I, a member of the Du family, should just stand there and take it when they pick on me?" It's a brilliant counter. The wooden sword at his hip isn't just for show anymore. It symbolizes both his newfound resolve and the undeniable logic of his position. And now, the main event. Du Sungwoo, the mastermind behind the past bullying, is dragged into the spotlight by the furious instructor. The question hangs in the air, sharp and damning. Did you really pick on him? Watching his cousin's face twist with a mixture of rage and panic, Du Hyunwoo knows the reckoning has finally begun. The shadows of the past are being forcefully dragged into the light. Well, look who's sweating now. The notorious triple threat who used to bully Hyunwoo are suddenly in a full-blown panic. They went from being all tough to a collective confession, frantically insisting that it was they who cursed him first. Look at their faces. The fear is real. Their fists clench like they're about to shatter. Is this fear or the first sting of a guilty conscience? Something tells me this confession is about to blow the whole school's power structure wide open. Talk about an intellectual KO. Hyunwoo just dropped a verbal bomb that left his opponent absolutely speechless. A casual, "Ah, that feels refreshing," is all it took before he just walked away, leaving nothing but an utterly confused and seething bully in his dust. The view widens. The school sits peacefully under the sun, but the legacy of that moment is Hyunwoo's clean victory and his enemy's absolute bewilderment. It's go time. The ultimate save operation is officially underway. Bracing himself at the classroom door, Hyunwoo resolves to abuse tit for tat. Not for vengeance, but for a whole new purpose. He's even questioning if he arrived too early. But then his eyes go wide. His heart skips a beat. What on earth has this transmigrated veteran so completely caught off guard? There she is. The calamity which you will one day doom the world is currently just a beautiful silver-haired girl lost in her book. It hits Xianyu like a truck. Bathed in warm light, she looks like something out of a painting. It's almost impossible to believe this fragile-looking girl will become a city-ending force of nature. Taking a deep breath, Xianyu takes the first step to rewrite destiny itself. He walks over and offers a simple hi. The gears of fate begin to turn. Step 1. Initiate contact. Hyunwoo's strategy is direct. He starts with simple, friendly chat. You can see her getting flustered, her ears practically twitching nervously. You like reading that much? Seems innocent, but it's a calculated probe for info and a way to bridge the gap. His mind is laser-focused. Today's mission is to befriend Hanul. Look at that smile at ease. This isn't the failed character he used to be. This is a max-level player starting a new game. Kenwa's question leaves Hanul speechless at the book club. She thought she had her online novel habit locked down tight, but this blue hoodie guy just waltzes in and speaks her language. Her heart skips a beat. How did he know? Quick to ease the tension, Kenwa shifts to TV shows, accidentally revealing his own tight budget. But his next guess, about her favorite drama, hits the bullseye. Hanul's hands tremble around her book. This isn't coincidence anymore. How does this guy know so much? It's starting to feel unsettling. Just as Hanul's brain is about to overheat, Hyunwoo delivers the knockout punch. You said it yourself during your introduction. The walls around her heart crumble in an instant. Pink bubbles of realization flood her mind. He was listening. He saw me. He remembered. The sweet moment shatters. In the hallway, Hyunwoo's words land like an ice pick to her soul. Because you don't have any friends either, right? The light in Hanul's eyes dims. She watches his back as he walks ahead. The chattering crowd around her feels miles away. So, he's just like me, just another lonely soul. The tiny spark of hope is snuffed out by the cold water of familiarity. There it is. Hanul hugs her book tighter, sentencing herself in her mind. His interest is just fascination for a novelty, a rare specimen to observe. Just like those girls who once briefly gathered, only to eventually run toward the brighter, normal crowds. Watching them in the light, the girl kneeling in the shadows slowly withdraws her outstretched hand. You too will lose interest. Every approach, every moment, always ends in being forgotten and left behind. The bone-deep loneliness swallows her whole once more. After their first successful conversation, Hyunwoo's attention was completely captured by those fluffy rabbit ears. His mind was screaming cute on repeat, while another voice warned him asking about them would be social suicide. Honestly, choosing his next move felt more intense than facing a boss monster. You gotta see what this kid pulls out next. He digs up a rabbit video and asks Hanul with a completely straight face if she wants to watch it. Talk about a targeted attack, hitting right where she's vulnerable. Hanul pretends to be cool, but just look at her face. She's probably screaming internally. And here's the knockout punch. Hyunwoo unveils his secret weapon, a video showing rabbits doing happy jumps called binks. Hanul's composure completely shatters. Seeing a gentle aspect of her own race presented so earnestly, the emotional whiplash hit her harder than a doomsday prophecy. Defense is down. It's so cute. At this moment, she's not the wary calamity witch. She's just a girl whose adorable button got pushed hard. Hyunwoo, first round goes to you. The operation escalates. Hyunwoo drops the ultimate invite. Come to my house after school to see the real rabbits. Look at Hanul's face, a perfect mix of shock and delight, stumbling over her words. This kid knows how to press his advantage, and that smug little smile says it all. Another solid step forward in the childhood friend master plan. Hyunwoo finally makes his way into Hanyul's inner circle, using the painfully honest common ground of having no friends. For a moment, a flicker of light appears in her eyes behind that mask, a light she doesn't even notice herself. But it's quickly smothered by a deep, familiar bitterness and wariness. She's lived through this cycle too many times. Someone shows interest, then loses it. In her mind, this new, overly enthusiastic boy is just the next temporary visitor destined to forget her. The masterstroke comes next. Hyunwoo brings the silver-haired, bunny-eared Hanyul straight to his home. The sight of the mansion, luxurious enough to be straight out of a drama, stuns her completely. Her mouth hangs slightly open, her face a picture of disbelief screaming. Is this a place for someone like me? This visual shock hits harder than any comforting words ever could. Before Hanyul can even process the mansion, Hyunwoo's mother makes her dazzling entrance. The warmth she radiates is like welcoming a long-lost daughter. You must be Hanyul, Hyunwoo's friend, she asks, and Hanuel's face instantly combusts into a deep blush, utterly flustered. Yet, this heartwarming scene acts like a key, violently unlocking her sealed-away trauma. The cold echoes of her parents' warnings, "Don't play with Ainz," reverberate painfully in her mind. A clash of fire and ice. On one side, Kyunwoo's mother is overflowing with genuine joy. "This is the first time Kyunwoo has ever brought a friend home," she exclaims, the background practically blooming with flowers. On the other side, alarm bells scream in Hanuel's mind. Her parents' teachings surface like a curse. You shouldn't just befriend anyone. Two conflicting forces wage war within her. The warm desire for acceptance versus the icy fear of inevitable betrayal. Kyunwoo plays it perfectly. He brushes past the tense awkwardness and deploys the ultimate secret weapon: food. "Mom, can you make us tteokbokki, please?" he shouts excitedly, acting like he wants to share every good thing with his new friend. Beside him, Hanuel covers her face, blushing so hard she might combust from embarrassment. Yet, this simple, everyday invitation filled with life's warmth might just be the first ray of sunlight to start melting the ice encasing her heart. Du Kyunwoo is deploying his secret weapon. He knows exactly what button to press with Hanuel, a deep-seated affection for rabbits. The moment he shows her a video of his fluffy pet, Mongsol, the ice in her wary red eyes starts to crack. That's it, that's the spark. The numbers are ticking up. Look at that face. That's the tell. Seeing his chance, Kyunwoo goes for the kill shot. "Come to my house after school to see her." Boom. The impact is immediate. Surprise, a flicker of genuine delight, and then the old scars rise to the surface. Fear, pain, the instinct to run. She wants to say no, but the hand he's leading hasn't let go yet. An internal war has begun between self-preservation and the warmth she's longed for. Which one will win? And the victor is pure emotion. Hanuel not only came, but she's been utterly conquered by the fluffy adorableness of Mongsol and the warm chaos of the Du family dinner. Look at that radiant, almost disbelieving smile as she cuddles the rabbit. Is this really the future Calamity Witch? Meanwhile, Kyun was sporting that classic mission accomplished smirk. Step 1 of the grand plan is a resounding success. As evening falls, a key player enters the stage. The head of the Du household is home. Beaming with pride and adjusting his tie, he announces his arrival. But little does he know, the special guest in his home tonight is the linchpin of his son's 5-year plan to literally save the world. This cozy domestic scene is the backdrop for a much, much larger game. But the real secret weapon is here, Kyunwoo's little sister, Yoon. She has already fallen head over heels for her rabbit sister. Witness the floor-rolling, full-throated tantrum. "I want to see her too." This level of pure, unfiltered adoration is a weapon of mass destruction against loneliness. Kyunwoo's childhood friend project just gained an unexpected and incredibly powerful wingman. Good luck trying to isolate Hanuel now. Kyunwoo brought a friend home without prior notice? Huh? Little Yoon is pouting because she missed meeting the rabbit sister. He quickly explains to his father, and then drops a bombshell request. The moment his father hears that his son is asking to spar, his eyes light up. How long has the guardian of Songpa District been waiting for this moment? He's more excited than if he downed 3 energy drinks. But what Kyunwoo says next is the real shocker. "I want to experience actual combat." What? Is this kid out his mind? The smile vanishes from his father's face in an instant. Kyunwoo's gaze is unwavering as he reveals his ultimate goal. "I like to kill some monsters." This guy, he just started befriending the future Calamity Witch, and now he wants to dive headfirst into the dungeons. What started as a heartwarming visit has taken a sharp turn. Is this the resolve of a boy determined to change his fate, or the beginning of a path paved with even more thorns? Du Kyunwoo finally brings the future Calamity Witch, Yun Hanu, home. He's trying to give her a normal childhood, right? But normal for the Du clan? Their house is less of a home and more of an estate. It's not a mansion, it's a statement. The look on Hanu's face? Priceless. Her silver hair and rabbit ears almost wilted in awe. This wasn't coming over for dinner. This was a reality check in scale. Turn of events. You thought this was just a heartwarming family dinner scene? The second the meal ended, Kyunwoo cornered his father in the training hall. The mood shifted instantly. The son suddenly wants to spar, but the father shuts him down hard. It's not your time yet. It's not a slap across the face. It's a punch straight to Kyunwoo's gut. Why is he in such a hurry? Because 5 years feels like a blink before the end of the world screams closer. Now you see the pressure he's under? It's suffocating even for us. Look at the flashes in his mind. Future allies locked in savage combat. Enemies sharpening their blades in the shadows. And that fight poster? That's S102, a pivotal event from the game. He wants to save everyone, but here he is, struggling to keep up in his own dojo's training sessions. The fear is real. What if, in 5 years, he's still just Do Hyunwoo, the loser who can't protect anyone? He's desperate, and it shows. His mind is screaming, I need to catch up now. But that desperation seems to be spilling over. We cut to what looks like a small disagreement with an older, white-haired guy. The other dude just looks confused. Hyunwoo just accuses him. Is this because of what happened in the sword training academy just now? The other guy? Pardon? You can smell the tension. Hyunwoo's urgency is making him a little too confrontational. And the bomb drops. That incident at the academy? It was a brutal fight. Someone confronts Hyunwoo head-on. I heard you fought at the sword training academy, and the kid you fought got hurt really bad. Look at Hyunwoo's reaction. Fist clenched, face flushed. He's burning with the need to defend himself internally. But the real kicker? However, you said that you did nothing wrong. Oh no, this isn't about right or wrong anymore. This is about survival and ambition pushing Hyunwoo to cross lines. Is he becoming the very thing he swore to change? What began as a warm family night ends with a thunderclap of a revelation. Yun Hanul followed Hyunwoo home, and what she saw next blew her mind. An ordinary house. This massive, luxurious estate looked straight out of a high-level game mansion. Hyunwoo's background was a lot more serious than he let on. But what truly shattered Hanul's defenses was Hyunwoo's mother's welcome. This wasn't politeness. It was the genuine, all-encompassing love you'd give your own daughter. A simple home-cooked meal. The warmth of family slowly began melting the ice around the abandoned silver-haired girl's heart. Even Hyunwoo's little sister was immediately smitten by the beautiful girl with bunny ears, brimming with excitement. But in the cozy post-dinner atmosphere, Hyunwoo was plotting something far heavier than a simple game. He approached his imposing father, casually asking for a sparring match after dinner. But his true intentions lay beyond mere swordplay. Under his father's scrutinizing gaze, there was no trace of playfulness in Hyunwoo's eyes, only the grave determination forged from a double life of death and humiliation. The sword of the Do family, he declared, is meant to protect and save others. That wasn't just a nice sentiment. It was a creed etched into his very soul by his past life. But then, the boy hit them with a brutal philosophical gut punch. How can someone who can't even protect themselves ever hope to protect others? That's why he fought, to gain the power to protect, not just himself, but others too. And for that, wooden swords weren't enough. He needed to hunt real monsters. Hearing this level of conviction from a 14-year-old absolutely floored his father, leaving him speechless. The mood at the dinner table was anything but ordinary. Do Hyunwoo in this life. His gaze was fixed far beyond the meal in front of him. His mind wasn't on food, but on a singular, burning conviction. The 5-year countdown, the future calamity, which, the bullies from his old life, they were all burned into his soul. He didn't need comfort. He needed power. Real power. So, after the plates were cleared, he took a deep breath and turned to his most trusted guide, his father. He asked for a sparring match. Not a child's play fight, but a warrior's declaration. His father looked at him, his eyes a mix of scrutiny and deep concern. He's so young, isn't he? But what Hyunwoo said next shattered all hesitation. It was a speech no ordinary teenager would, or could, make. He spoke of protecting the future, guarding the ones precious to him, with a resolve that felt almost ruthless, like he'd already witnessed the oncoming apocalypse. When he admitted his desire to wield a sword and to truly grow by slaying monsters, the very air in the room went still. His father's prolonged silence wasn't disapproval. He wasn't looking at an overeager boy, but at a soul ablaze with the spirit of a soldier. Finally, he gave a slow nod. Your crazy determination. I acknowledge it, but don't rush it. You want me to take you through the door for real combat? First, pass my test. A condition? Hyunwoo was taken aback. Wasn't it settled? But an addendum? He focused instantly, recognizing this as his father shifting into serious mode. Sure enough, in the next breath, a sharp sword beam seemed to materialize from thin air. The sound of tearing wind ignited the atmosphere of the training ground instantly. This was no joke. His father stood firm within the fading light of his own attack, his words just as sharp as the chi. Prove to me you have the skill and the resolve to face a real monster. That's my condition. If you want the right to hunt monsters, first, show me you've earned the right to make them fear you. The pressure skyrocketed. But that wasn't all. His father raised a single finger, adding the most outrageous clause of all. I'll only use the basic stances of the Pharaoh King flow. No mana, and I will not move more than 5 steps. What? Only basic forms, restricted movement. and his mana sealed. This wasn't merely a test. This was the absolute confidence of a master. He was handing Xianyu the entire stage, just to see what brilliance the boy could produce under these ultimate constraints. Xianyu's grip on his wooden sword trembled, but with excitement. He had finally been granted his ticket to the real battlefield. After dinner, Duke Xianyu challenged his father. Think it's just a friendly spar? Wrong. This kid is dead serious. His dad's brow furrowed, sensing the gravity of the moment. Are you sure? The father's voice was laced with worry. But Duke Hyunwoo's gaze was as sharp as a newly forged blade. I have to get stronger. For Hanu, for my sister, for future where I can stand tall. And the only path to that strength is to step into the real battlefield and face the monsters. This wasn't the plea of a child. This was the determined cry of a warrior carrying the weight of 2 lifetimes. The atmosphere in the dojo plummeted to freezing. His father laid down the ultimate trial rules. No magic, only 5 steps allowed. Think he's just being harsh? Not even close. This was his way of forcing his son to confront his deepest fears head-on. Duke Hyunwoo's palms were slick with sweat on the bamboo sword, flashes of his past life's torment flickering in his mind. Hesitation against an enemy is cruelty to those you want to protect. Don't hesitate. Come at me with your sword. His father's voice was a thunderclap. At that moment, every last shred of doubt in Duke Hyunwoo's eyes was shattered. He moved. An explosion of pent-up momentum. Duke Hyunwoo's figure blurred with speed lines. This wasn't a simple charge. It was a dive-bombing attack fueled by his 43-point agility and evasion instinct, burning at full throttle. The Beast King-style first form. The bamboo sword screamed through the air with a sharp crack. His father's pupils contracted sharply. What did he see? This wasn't just skill. This was resolve bought with the price of a life. Sparks erupted from the clash. Then, a thunderous impact. The scene froze. The unfathomably strong father was actually forced back a full step by this raw, unreasonable force. His heels scraped a low groan from the wooden floorboards. Impossible. A rookie hunter, using only a basic form, had moved to seasoned clan elite. Silence. Only heavy panting broke the quiet. His father looked down at his own retreating foot, then back up at his gasping son. Duke Hyunwoo's hands trembled on the sword, but his eyes burned with a terrifying intensity. Then, the ever-stern father smiled. Not a polite one, but a true, heartfelt smile brimming with utmost pride. Enough, he said, reining in his aura. You have passed. With this, his son had carved a path to the real battlefield with his own hands. The ticket to the gate was his. The test begins in the dojo. The father is dead serious. No magic for him. And a brutal rule for Xianyu. You must hit me within 5 steps. The guardian of the future bringer of ruin can only grit his teeth against the relentless onslaught of his father's blade. The father's strike is too fast. Xianyu's defense is shattered instantly. That's not going to work, the father says dismissively. Those words shatter his son's composure. But in that moment, his eyes sharpen, blue electricity crackles around his grip. He's finally hit his limit. And the retaliation is swift and merciless. A brutal sweep sends Xianyu crashing to the floor. His father's relentless advance, the deadly whistle of the blade. It's a harsh reminder of this world's unforgiving rule. Only the strong get to stand. But an inferno roars in Xianyu's mind. Not tomorrow, not later. Right now, the image of Yun Hanol, the lonely girl destined for ruin, flashes before him. If he can't even overcome this hurdle of his father's test, what hope does he have of changing fate? Beast King style, foundation technique, charge. Pushed to the brink, the reincarnator's absurd 43 agility and evasion instinct kick in. He rips through the storm of his father's blade, seizing that fleeting opening. A full force strike slams into the father's torso. It connects. The training floor in their home felt more like a battlefield. His father laid down the rules. No magic, and the fight must be decided within 5 steps. It was practically a declaration of "you're not ready yet." That confident smirk on his dad's face said it all. He expected the same old Xianyu, the one who couldn't land a single hit. But this Xianyu is different. He's seen the future, and he's got the reflexes to match. The hesitation dissolved in an instant. With the raw basics of the Beast King style, the very moves he thought too simple, he exploded forward. That blue light sword? It wasn't a fancy skill, but the force behind it was real. Look at his eyes. That's the look of someone who's about to shatter expectations. Bam! The impact was brutal and ugly. A heavy kick, a follow-up slam. The training floor practically shook. His father's shock is priceless. He was holding back, yeah, but Letting someone hit you and them actually hitting you like this are two completely different things. The pain wasn't just physical. It was the sting of being completely read and countered by your own weak son, so that you can acknowledge my ability. Xianyu is panting, dripping sweat, but the triumphant grin on his face is pure gold. And check out his dad's reaction. The shock, the reluctant pride, it's all there. He sees it now. The childish determination has hardened into something real. And that hee-hee from little Xianyu flashback, that's the kid who's been waiting his whole life for this moment. The rude brat did it. He passed. The atmosphere has completely shifted. From the tense dojo to the familiar family car. They've left the battle behind. Dad's got a small smile as he talks about heading out, promising to be back before dinner. It's a simple domestic scene, but it means everything. He's not just the instructor anymore. He's the dad who's now ready to take his son on his first real adventure. The gate awaits. The training wheels are off. Sending Xianyu into the actual gate? Absolute panic from his mom. She's desperately asking if anyone's sure about this, worried he's too young. Another family member is equally frantic. But flip the scene, and the man of the hour, Xianyu himself, and his dad, completely chill. She'll be fine. Same. That's the trust that's been forged for this moment. It's departure day. At the door, a worried mom and his serious little sister see him off. With a final wave and a promise to be careful, Xianyu hops into his dad's car. His father, a branch head of the Regulus clan, hits the gas. A destination? Not some ordinary school. We're headed straight for the private facilities of the clan's academy. The training wheels are coming off. Big time. The city passes by outside the car window. For Xianyu, it's more than just a view. It's a constant reminder from a game's lore. Ever since the Calamity change, this world's been on unsteady ground. Reality itself is fragile. Those shimmering glows, those impossible visual glitches you see, that's not CGI. That's the dimensional distortion phenomenon. It's the physical proof that this reality is under constant, passive pressure from another. Here's the terrifying truth about that distortion. When those conflicting energies don't just press, but violently collide and tear the boundary apart, a permanent conduit is forced open. A gate, that shadowy dimension, claws its way out into our world. See? First a monstrous arm pierces through, and then, boom, the sky itself is ripped open by a glowing blue fissure. The nightmare dimension isn't just knocking anymore. It's kicking the door down. This is exactly why hunters like his father, and soon Xianyu, exist. Their ultimate mission isn't just to kill stray monsters. It's to stabilize and seal these gates. Because if left unchecked, a gate doesn't just become a doorway. It goes outbreak. The unstable world collapses catastrophically, exploding and scattering its entire chaotic reality into ours. That's not just an invasion. It's a dimensional apocalypse from a single point. That's the fragile reality ticking with countless time bombs. And that's the danger zone the kid wants his father to take him into for training. Du Qianwu's dad sized up his son, who was practically radiating determination. Saving the world? That takes more than just willpower. Want to get stronger? Fine, let's see if you can hold your own in the family dojo first. But this father wasn't playing fair. He slapped his son with a brutal handicap. No magic allowed, and you get exactly 5 steps. If you can land a hit on me within those 5 steps, you win. This wasn't sparring. This was a rookie picking a fight with the final boss. Du Qianwu, are you sure about this? Du Qianwu took a deep breath. Memories flashed before him. The fists of the triplets in his previous life, the cold, world-ending eyes of the future calamitous witch. No, this time he wouldn't run. Not to prove anything, but to protect. Beast King style. Let's go. 5 steps, not one more. Du Qianwu went all in. His innate 43 agility and evasion instinct exploded into action. His footwork was so fast, it left afterimages. He abandoned all thought of defense. He wasn't trying to avoid his father's moves anymore. Only one thought remained. Get to him. He compressed the 5-step limit to its absolute breaking point. On the verge of exhausting his last ounce of strength, he finally struck. Thud! A heavy impact echoed in the dojo. It wasn't some flashy ultimate move. It was the most fundamental, basic technique of the Beast King style. But in that moment, it was infused with all his resolve. For the first time, it forced that unmovable wall, his father, to take a step back. Silence fell. Du Qianwu gasped for air, drenched in sweat. Across from him, his father's initial look of shock softened, replaced by the faintest hint of a genuine smile. This punch. He'd been waiting for it. The wall in the dojo had fallen. The next day, a car pulled up in front of a towering modern skyscraper. The Songpagu branch of the legendary hunter organization, the Regulus clan. This wasn't a field trip. Du Kyungwoo knew that from the moment he stepped through those doors, his real combat training would begin. The grand, world-saving chess match had just made its first move. New chapter alert. The gears of fate are grinding into motion again. And the opening shot? A heart-stopping screech of tires. Kyungwoo's chauffeur and secret weapon, his own dad, has pulled up somewhere that screams important. They've arrived. Father and son stand side by side, craning their necks to gaze up at the monolithic beast piercing the sky. The Regulus clan, Songpa district branch. The sunlight practically ignites the glass facade. Kyungwoo looks calm, but you just know his inner voice is screaming. This is where my dad asterisk works? I became a childhood friend of a mid-level boss. This title is no joke. The threads of destiny are quietly weaving themselves around Kyungwoo and that future calamity witch. Kyungwoo's first objective on his grand mission? Infiltrating the Regulus clan, the colossal organization founded by his own Du family ancestors. Its influence is nationwide, as those red dots on the map prove. Wanted? For most people, it's a strict process. Get a certified hunter's license first. That's your golden ticket to the government-controlled gates and dungeons. By all rights, Kyungwoo, standing there empty-handed, shouldn't even get past the front desk. But rules are for ordinary people. When this man in the white coat, the branch manager and Kyungwoo's dad, steps into view, the entire rulebook gets shredded. Staff members greet him with deep respect. Kyungwoo stands by his side, holding his gear. The internal monologue drops the truth bomb. Asterisk, my situation is different. Because my father? He runs this place. Asterisk. Kyungwoo played his dad card perfectly. Faced with rules and restrictions, he just smirked. Regulus clan? Gate access? All just a phone call away when your old man's the boss. But the cool pose didn't last. In a blink, he was swarmed by overly affectionate clan members. Cheeks got stretched, muscles threatened hugs. Kyungwoo was literally drowning in awkward affection. Escaping the mob, they confronted the real thing. Kyungwoo saw his cool dad get flustered when asked if he'd enter the gate with his son. Even this legendary hunter showed a hint of nervous, fatherly concern. His father's demeanor shifted. He handed over a small object, his expression solemn yet proud. Son, this is a gate key. The key to their future, and perhaps the world's, was now in Kyungwoo's hands. The white key glowed softly in his palm. A vision unfolded before him. The seven-colored hierarchy of gates, from the humble white to the formidable deep blue. Kyungwoo took his first step. The tutorial was over. The real game was about to begin. Dad pulls up to the Regulus clan's Songpa district branch, his turf. This ain't a family trip. The whole ride was an info dump. Gates, dimensional distortions, and that crucial gate key system you only get by clearing dungeons. Turns out the world's just one massive hidden raid instance. Kyungwoo keeps a straight face, but inside, he's fired up. This is the endgame content he remembers. No lengthy hunter certification for him. No lines, no paperwork. When your old man runs the place, you walk right in. They stand before an artificial gate, glowing ominously with a giant 2 overhead. Tech hums in the sterile air. You've seen this at the main house, Dad says, handing him the key. Clear the dungeon, get the key, open the gate. Simple, right? Kyungwoo's first dungeon trial begins now. Stepping inside, Kyungwoo can't help a soft wow. The sheer scale, the insane maintenance costs. It hammers home the raw power of his family. But Dad cuts his wonder short with a chilling ultimatum. We're going in now, he states, voice low and serious. Are you sure you're ready? Think it through. Once you're in, you can't leave until the dungeon's cleared. No turning back. The pressure's on. Kyungwoo hesitates for a bare second, a flicker of doubt crossing his mind. But it's fleeting. He lifts his head, his eyes shining with unwavering resolve. A soft but firm smile gracing his lips. Yes, he answers. No hesitation now. I've thought it through enough. This is the first step. The first real test to gain the power he needs to change everything. At the final moment, the kid pulls a classic move. With a cheeky grin, he hands the key back to his dad. Also, if I can't clear it, you'll do it for me, right, Dad? Dad just sighs, exasperated but fond. Fine, all right. Even if you fail, I got your back. Just don't overdo it. He adds with a mock shudder, and don't get me scolded by your mom. Armed with this ultimate dad backup, buff, Kyungwoo turns and walks, without hesitation, toward the gate that holds his destiny. The VIP treatment begins. Du Kyungwoo's dad takes him straight to his workplace, the Regulus clan Songpa district branch. Talk about a shortcut. On the way, it's like a crash course in the new world, the interdimensional gates, and the gate key reward system for clearing them. This is not your average newbie experience. This base is unreal. While other wannabe hunters are stuck in bureaucracy, Kyungwoo waltzes right in. Thanks to his dad being the branch manager, he bypasses the entire certification process and gets his access to the gates cleared. It's like having admin privileges in a game you just started. Reality just shifted. Stepping through the gate, Xianyu finds himself in his first real dungeon, the white level pink crystal cave. Clear condition: eliminate 15 goblins. Sounds simple, right? But for a former loser character thrust into this reality, every step could be a trap. Danger doesn't play by game rules. He scans the eerily beautiful cavern, glowing crystals casting strange light. The weapon in his hand feels heavier, more real. It's dangerous, so I should be careful, he reminds himself. This isn't a tutorial pop-up, it's pure survival instinct. His evasion instinct skill is buzzing with warnings. In a place this quiet, the ambush can come from anywhere. Splat! Something explodes out of nowhere, a red streak shattering the calm. The welcome party has arrived. Xianyu snaps into a fighting stance, blade raised, eyes sharp. Forget a tutorial. The real trial started the moment he stepped through the gate. Determined to get strong enough to protect the future, Xianyu enters the pink crystal cave for his first real test, a white-level dungeon his father arranged. The place looks stunning, bathed in the glow of pink crystals, but our protagonist isn't here for the sights. His knuckles are white, gripping that stick, every nerve on edge, eyes darting to every shadow. He's not here to clear a dungeon. He feels like bait waiting for a trap. But when he ventures deeper, he's hit with a sight that floors him. The fight's already over. All 15 goblins, the entire threat, are neatly tied up and piled together. And standing casually among them is his dad, looking sharp in a suit like he just wrapped up a business deal. Xianyu's jaw hits the ground. Dad, you caught them all already? So much for a trial by fire. His father basically pre-wrapped the entire challenge for him. A part of him wants to complain that this feels too easy, but another part is just grateful. His dad counts the squirming pile. 15 in total. Matches the clear condition. Defeat them, and we're done. Hearing that, Xianyu can't help the grin that spreads across his face. Score. This is basically free experience points delivered to his doorstep. Who's going to say no to that? His father pulls one goblin out of the bunch, the smallest and weakest looking one, and tosses it in front of Xianyu. Ready? Taking them all at once is too much. Let's start with one. Xianyu takes a deep breath, raising his stick. Bring it on. Even the weakest one won't, but his dad's next words are a cold splash of reality. Remember, they are vicious by nature. Don't let your guard down. And just as that warning leaves his lips, whoa, the goblin labeled the weakest erupts with shocking ferocity. A screech rips from its throat, and a clawed hand 3 times its size smashes down with terrifying force. All prior confidence evaporates. Hyunwoo's eyes widen. His stick comes up in a desperate, instinctive block. Crack! Splinters fly. This is the viciousness his dad warned about. This level of pressure is insane for a tutorial enemy. Forget the tutorial village. Dad, who's been there and done that, hooks his son up with his first official quest. But this isn't just any quest. It's a masterclass. The task: clear a white-level pink crystal cave of 15 goblins. Piece of cake? Not so fast. When Du Qianwu follows him in, he finds the entire goblin horde already disarmed and subdued by one man, his own father. This isn't a dungeon dive. It's a personalized training ground. No escape, no easy way out. The pressure is on. Dad releases one, single, deliberately chosen weak goblin into the arena. This is the final exam. The green creature, clutching a shard of glowing pink crystal, looks desperate to survive. That's the true nature of a real fight. Even the lowest monster will fight for its life. Sweat beads on Qianwu's brow, his heart jackhammering in his chest. One small mistake in this live-fire test could mean game over permanently. Just as the goblin lets out a cry of momentary triumph, Qianwu moves. Not with a head-on charge, but by leveraging his monstrous 43 AGI and evasive instinct. His body twists mid-air, his blade becoming twin blue lightning bolts that tear through the darkness. A stunning reverse slash aimed downward with explosive force. It's not technique, it's pure instinct. Not an attack, but a devastating counter. An image of a lonely silver-haired girl flashes in his mind for a split second. This strike is to make it back alive, to become your real friend. So you think Dad's going to toss his son into a nightmare dungeon? Think again. This legendary hunter's idea of a first practical test barely qualifies as a tutorial. A rookie white-level quest called the Pink Crystal Cave. Kill 15 goblins. Sounds easy enough. Qianwu takes a deep breath and pushes open the dungeon door, only to be met with a sight that short-circuits his brain. Deep in the cavern, all the goblins are already trussed up in a pathetic pile, and his ever-enigmatic father is casually standing nearby, practically saying no need to hunt. I've already gathered the XP fodder. This isn't a dungeon dive. It's a cheat-coded farming ground. Without a shred of urgency, his father reaches back, draws the colossal sword from its sheath, and with a seemingly casual flick, hooks the scrawniest, most terrified-looking goblin from the pile. A swift kick sends it stumbling right in front of his son. Use your evasive instinct, and then put it down. Watching the pathetic creature, bug-eyed and drooling with fear, Xianyu's grip trembles. Flashes of his past life, the memories of being finished off by goblins just like this, surge up. But a far stronger thought drowns them out. To stand beside Hanul 5 years from now, not grovel at her feet, he must pass this first test today. Gritting his teeth, he tightens his grip on the crude wooden practice sword, his eyes blazing with newfound ferocity. Scene transitions to chapter end card/production credits. He cleared this stage, but Xianyu knows deep down, Father's beginner's bonus won't be offered again. From this first target to the entire world he must face in the future. Where does this path lead? To the despair of a world destroyed by the Witch of Calamity, or to a light bright enough to protect everyone he holds dear? The gears of fate, finally turned by his own hand, have let out their first heavy clang.